This nootropic is legit. At first, I thought it was overhyped and exaggerated, but honestly, it has exceeded my expectations in general and especially for archery performance. I'll dive into a study that correlates very, very well with the mental demands of archery competitions. And I'm not just blowing smoke. You'll want to stick around to see this. And the nootropic that I'm talking about today is ashwagandha. Now, I'll admit I was wrong about this one. I thought all the nootropic bros and granola hippies were blowing this out of proportion, but this has been a great addition into my archery training and my professional life as well. But I'll preface now, these substances can affect everyone differently. You may have negatives that you experience that I haven't, or you may not experience the benefits that I have. I've had ashwagandha before as part of some drinks, but I never had it by itself until last year. And I started taking it here and there before shooting and in general. And I didn't realize the specific benefits until I was making ashwagandha tea in the evenings. And I realized it was really giving me a sharp focus when I was trying to get computer work done. And then into this winter league, I really focused on taking it, and it would increase my focus and my mellow mindset, and I could take less of other things. So I wouldn't take as much caffeine, I wouldn't take alpha GPC during these times when I would take ashwagandha. So what is ashwagandha? It is a traditional Indian medicine that has been around for 3,000 years in use. The root has been used in everything from an aphrodisiac, a tonic, stimulants, and a narcotic. While native to India, it is grown in other places around the world as well. It has become popular over the last few years to be used in calm drinks, focus and nootropic stacks, as well as tonics and tinctures. So the benefits of ashwagandha are improved memory, focus, and reaction time, increased muscle strength and endurance, improved blood sugar control, so it regulates your blood sugar levels, reduced inflammation, and boosts immunity. So of those things that we care about for archery is really memory, focus, reaction time. So of all of those benefits, focus is really the big one and the main one that I look for when I'm looking at supplements for archery. What I mean by focus is keeping me on task, focused, and my mental acuity high for staying in the moment and in the present as I'm executing my shot. Ashwagandha has been reported to also decrease perceptions of stress and enhance mood, as well as improved cognitive function, like I talked about earlier. The perception of stress is another big benefit of this for archery tournaments and bow hunting. In both of those, you're in high stress situations. So if you can perceive those just a little bit less than what you otherwise would, then that can be a big tool to have in your tool belt. The specific benefits that I've noticed for archery during a long day of shooting in a 3D shoot, or even during a couple-hour session of indoor league, is I can stay on task, feel like I'm more focused. So like I said earlier, I can rely less on other things. Now it helps me a lot because I'm someone that has always had problems with my mind wandering and I'm not able to stay on task. And that's a big reason why I look for these things. So it may help other people just as much as me, or other people may not find a big benefit in things like this. Just like anything in life, you don't want to rely on something to feel like you need it to shoot good. I try to only take it 1 to 3 times max in a week, and I usually just utilize it for shoots that really matter to me. So just practicing in the backyard or blank bailing, I'm not going to be taking it. Now here's the study that I promised. I'm pumped on ashwagandha not only because of my own anecdotal evidence and performance gains that I've seen over the past year, but also because of the study structure and how it is very similar to the way of the mental demands over a period of an archery tournament. This study was structured over a 6-hour period, measuring mental demands throughout it. This study concluded of 13 healthy adults, and it was a double-blind placebo-controlled study taking either placebo or 400 milligrams of ashwagandha. This had 4 different tests that evaluate the cognitive level of executive function. Cognitive level of executive function. So 4 tests that measure the executive function and how placebo versus ashwagandha and the effects of those two. These tests, I'm going to run through these. They're confusing. It's a bunch of words and names, but I'm going to run through them and mention them. The Berg, Wisconsin card sorting, or BCST, go/no-go, Sternberg task, and the psychomotor vigilance task tests. That's a lot of different tests, but those are the tests that they use to measure the mental acuity and focus and how fast they are performing these tests. So the participants of this study took these tests every hour for 6 hours and measured the results. Then, after a 4-day washout period, they took the opposite. So if they took the placebo first, 4 days later, they then took the ashwagandha, or vice versa. If they took the ashwagandha first, 4 days later, they took the placebo. And then it measured the results of these tests through that 6 hours and how they performed from hour 1 to hour 6. So ashwagandha increased the Sternberg test determined working memory as demonstrated by an improvement in 6-letter length, present reaction time at 3 and 6 hour. The psychomotor vigilant task tests analysis revealed that ashwagandha sustained attention by helping maintain reaction times, preventing mental fatigue, and remaining vigilant. So I think that part is a big part that shows how this can be a powerful tool for archery. In the Berg, Wisconsin card sorting, there was evidence that ashwagandha increased the ability to recognize and shift to a new rule compared with baseline. So that could be important because you're shifting from sitting there BSing with someone next to you on the line to being 100% attentive and focusing on your shot process for 3 arrows hitting 11s and not messing up. The go-no-go test, it showed that ashwagandha promoted faster response times to respond correctly than the placebo group, indicating less mental fatigue. So, in conclusion, supplementation of ashwagandha with 400 milligrams has improved selected measures of executive cognitive function. It helped sustain attention and increased short-term working memory. And that's why I think this is a cool study that relates to archery, and specifically archery competition. Not only would ashwagandha in this study show a good performance increase for archery competitions, but also for bow hunting. When you're out there all day, every day, working your ass off, and you are getting a little stressed because maybe you're not seeing anything, or maybe you had a huge letdown because you blew a stock or missed an animal. Well, this does change your perception of stress, and it keeps you mentally alert and high cognitive function. I didn't use this at all for bow hunting the last couple of years, but this might be something that I do incorporate this coming season. Ashwagandha acts on the GABA receptors as well as the cholinergic receptors. I'm definitely butchering the word. I can never say that word correctly. Yeah, definitely messing that up. But anyways, those are the receptors that it works on. So one drawback of this study is that it was only 13 people, so that's not a big study. And there also hasn't been a ton of studies like this. So that's something that I'd like to see more research in the future so we can get a better understanding of how this affects cognitive function. So that's a lot of jumbled word salad studies and weird terms, but I hope I can show that this study was pretty big and how it correlates with the demands of an archery tournament as well as with the demands of bow hunting. Cool to see this study and really explore the benefits that it's had on my performance. And that wraps up ashwagandha, something that I never thought I'd make a video about, but I am right now. Please comment down below if you have any thoughts on this, whether positive or negative. And if you found any value, please sub, and we'll see you on the next. Anecdotal. Cannot say anecdotal.